Sri Gurubhyo Namah. Morning viewers. In this video we are going to see about the 2023 predictions. I wish you all a very happy 2023. Let this new year bring you all prospects and happiness. If you are new to my channel, keep this channel subscribed so that you will get my updates instantly. You are seeing the planetary position on 2023, the day 1 as well as the end of the year 2023, 31st December. 2023, numerologically it is value 7 and assigned to the planet Ketu. In 2022, during the New Year prediction, we were talking about the Venus. As 2022, Venus was ruling the complete year, and this year it will be Ketu which is going to rule the complete year. Because at the beginning of the year, that is 1st January 2023, you have Ashwini star, the star of Ketu. Same way in the end of the year, 31st of December, you have Maha star, star of Ketu, and Ketu is very strong at Virgo. You have Rahu moved away from Aries to Pisces. So in this year, you will be seeing 3 major transits. One is Saturn Transit, another is Jupiter as well as Rahu Ketu transits. So all the important planetary movements going to take place on 2023. Ketu is something like which is more of spirituality. So those who are very strong in spiritual way of living, they find this year more interesting and very fruitful and happy for them. But those who do not believe on spirituality and are against spiritualism may face certain problems also. But when Ketu is associating with the house of Mercury, and Mercury implies the financial institutions, bank and other investments and investing sectors, most of the countries may face certain financial crunch during this year. Ketu is a planet which is not of luxury, it is more of spiritualism. So this year there may be some shortfall in revenue, there may be overall global problems, there may be dip in the revenue across major companies as well as countries may face certain economic crisis also. Fortunately, it is not a prolonging issue, but a span of around 6 to 8 months things will change, but one need not have to worry, as if a person's personal horoscope is very strong, having very strong Mahadasa and Antardasa, the planetary position may not have much influence because hardly it will take 50 to 20% on a person. So the remaining 80% comes from the personal horoscope, the current Mahadasa and Antardasa. At the same time, if a person's individual chart is not so strong, and even if the current Mahadasa and Antardasa is not supportive, he may find certain issues also. There may be loss of job, there may be some financial crisis, there may be some theft in the property. So some of the bad events may take place in this year. So it is better to save as much as possible. Spending huge money, spending on unwanted things, spending lavishly, one need to be restricted in all these areas. So this particular year, better to save and spend wherever it is really required. Now if you see the planetary position on day 1, that is on January 1st, 2023, it is Ashwini star, the star of Ketu. Moon is associated in the house of Aries and makes Rahu positive. At the 2nd house you have Mars there. 7th house Libra, you are having Ketu there. 9th house Sagittarius, there is a conjunction of planets, Sun and Mercury together, and in 10th house Venus makes Saturn positive, and Saturn being a ruler, and at the 12th house you have Jupiter. If you see at the end of the year on 31st of December, it is Maha star, the star of Ketu again. Now Moon is at Leo. You are having Jupiter at Aries and Rahu at Pisces. Ketu moves from Libra to Virgo. At Scorpio, you are having Mercury associated with Venus, and in Sagittarius you are having Sun and Mars together, and at Aquarius you are having Saturn ruler there. It takes the Mool Trikona power, and at the 12th house you are having Rahu. In this particular year 2023, you have 3 major transits which has a very big influence on a person's horoscope. That is, the beginning of January itself you are having the Saturn transit, then you have the Rahu Ketu as well as the Jupiter transit also. We will be seeing a separate video for each and every zodiac, right from Aries to Pisces. Gemini. the third zodiac sign as per the Kalapurusha Tattva. For Gemini, the upcoming 2023 New Year seems to be better as Saturn moves away from 8th house to 9th house. When comparing to 8th house, Saturn at 9th house seems better because they were all expecting this 2023 because they've been suffering from the Saturn's position at 8th house for almost 2.5 years. So it's going to be a great relief for them because on January 17th, when Saturn moves from Capricorn to Aquarius, it will reduce most of the problems. But even at 9th house, it is not so good. It will create certain problems in the family, the father side family, and in the health of the father. But when compared to the 8th house, it seems better. Also, if you see, the 10th house Lord, Jupiter is going to move to the 11th house. It seems to be more profitable for them because Jupiter is responsible for the 7th and 10th houses. In the next year, it's going to come to the 11th house, seems better for them. Again, in the next Rahu Ketu Transit, the Rahu moves from 11th house to the 10th house, seems really good, and Ketu comes to the 4th house, is also really good. So the major transit like the Saturn Transit, the Rahu Ketu Transit, and Jupiter Transit is all seems to be really favorable for Gemini this particular year. Those who are not employed for long, Rahu is associating with the 10th house, will certainly give them better prospects. They will definitely get a beautiful job in this particular year. Those who are already working in a company, they will get good chance of promotions, increments and all. See, and 10th house, when Jupiter is there, it would have given a lot of changes in their life. So some might have moved away from the native to different places. They have taken a new assignments in different places, even in different countries also. Based on their hard work the last year, this particular year they will start reaping the results. So they will get promotions, they will get some increments. So even there are chances they may come back to the native also because Jupiter moves away from 10th house to 11th house and makes it very profitable. And when you compare Rahu, it moves away from 11th house to 10th house, it gives opportunity in terms of jobs. So those who are unemployed yet, those who are graduated and seeking for an employment this year, this seems to be really good for them. They can easily enter into good companies, especially those in the IT sector. There's a good chance of new re-entry. Some of them may get into BPOs, call centers and all. Some may start their own business in terms of astrology. They start a new business in terms of Vastu Shastra, numerology. Some may even enter into the medicine field. So it looks good for them. So whatever the troubles they were facing so far, slowly they will get into a new path of life. It's going to be very smooth and successful. This 2023, those who are not married yet, there are good chance of getting a good married alliances. Those who are separated, there are chances of getting reunited in this year. And those who are widows and who are looking for a remarriage, this particular year, there is a good chance of getting a good married life because Jupiter is going to aspect the 7th house. So it's really positive for them. So the disputes between the couples, the problems between the husband and wife is going to come to an end in 2023. So they'll start a new life from here on. Also, when Jupiter aspecting the 5th house turns out to be positive for the children also. So children study well in this year. They can prosper well. They can enter into good schools and universities, and even join dream universities. Some of the children studying graduates or postgraduates level, they may get selected into campus interviews and get placed in a good companies also. So it looks really favorable for them. Ketu associating with 4th house, there may be some problems in the terms of health because already Saturn in 9th house and Ketu is at 4th house may give some troubles in the health of their parents. So they need to be careful in this year in their health basis. So they need to do a regular health checkup and keep intact. But when in terms of investments, it looks really good. So some of them may invest in financial sectors and try to get good returns. Now if we see in segment wise, when we talk about children's education, it's a good time in 2023. In this particular zodiac, children belonging to this particular zodiac can study well. Also for those belongs to this particular zodiac having children studying in graduate level or up to 10th or 12th, this particular year seems to be really good for them. So in both ways, it looks good for children's education. Also for those who are waiting for childbirth, this year there is a good chance of getting a good childbirth because Ketu moves from 5th house to 4th house. So it makes 5th house really positive. Also Jupiter aspecting the 5th house. So it gives a lot of positivity in terms of 5th house. So when we talk about health, there is a good possibility of getting a strong and powerful mental strength this year. So they can face any type of challenges more courageously and bravely. But in terms of the parents' health, they need to be really careful. Now in terms of investments and fixed assets, so as 4th house is good, there are good chance of building their assets this year. Some may purchase vehicles, some may purchase land, house, flats, etc. And some of them even invest in financial sectors and find good returns also. So to an extent, the investment seems to be really good, but it all depends on the individual horoscope also, because the major key player is the current Mahadasa and Andardasa of a native's chart. Whatever we are talking about here is just 15 to 20%. So in terms of employment, those who are not employed, good chances of getting employment opportunities in this year. Also those working in a company can even go abroad because it's a 10th house Rahu is associated and 10th house seems to be Pisces. So when we talk about Pisces, Rahu is there. There are good chance of person moving from one place to another place. So they may travel across sea. So those who are in the marine, those who are in Air Force, there's a good chance to travel different places. So it looks really good. Now when we talk about business, so as 7th house is aspected by Jupiter and 6th and 8th house seems to be really good in this particular year. There is a good chance of improvement in business also. So those who are doing self-business like doctors, especially in the areas of traditional medicine, preaching Vedas to other people, who are teachers, those who are in astrology, those who are in Vastu Shastra, numerology and all, they can get good returns, good share of business in this particular year. Those who are selling spiritual books, spiritual articles, they find good improvement in their business. Those who are into the catering business, ice cream, food grains, to an extent they can also build a good business volume in this particular year. So 2023 is a welcome year for Gemini. For Gemini, when you look at the prediction chart, the 9th house is affected by Saturn as Saturn moves away from 8th house to 9th house. It takes a Mool Trikona Sthan there and it becomes a ruler also. But compared to 8th house, 9th house seems to be better. Also you can see the 11th house is positive as Jupiter moves to 11th house and makes it positive. And Rahu moves to 10th house in the next year, makes 10th house also positive. When Rahu moves to the 10th house, Ketu will move to the 4th house, so it makes positive also. Jupiter from 11th house will aspect the 5th house and the 7th house and makes these houses really green. 3rd house is partially affected because Saturn is also aspecting the 3rd house. So sometimes they may be lazy, they don't take decisions in time. This may be the problem. When Jupiter aspects the 3rd house, there will be good support from the younger brothers and sisters. Look at the 6th house. No positive planets are aspecting the 6th house, but Saturn aspects the 6th house. So when 6th house is affected, indirectly it is helpful for the native of the chart, because when 6th house is affected, you can challenge your enemies, you can rid out of your diseases. Also, it is a time for you to repay back your loans. So it is very good for them compared to the 2022 and 21. In 2023, it is easy for them to pay their pending debts. They can easily pay back their settlements, dues and all. 7th house is positive as Jupiter aspecting the house, so there will be good understanding and relationship between the couples, business partners, life partners and all. There is a good business understanding also. The 8th house is also to an extent good because Saturn moves away from 8th house, so it's good time for business. They can expect good volume of business, good profits also. Jupiter is a planet which gives money, so it is at the 11th house and 11th house indicates money and profit. So we can expect a good raise in terms of business volume and profit. Also for those working in company can also expect a raise in their salary and incentives. So we compare all the positions of planets in 2023. For Gemini, there could be a positivity of up to 85%.